Hey guys, so I thought a fun video to do around the end of every month, more or less, would be a look through of a franchise, maybe a review and analysis, a top 10, anything along those lines to really just kind of talk and explain my thoughts and opinions about a certain franchise. And because I've been editing with Disney for quite a while, my channel was obviously cluttered with Disney videos, I thought a great video to talk about would be the Disney princesses. The Disney Princess franchise is quite a big one to talk about. And right off the bat, just think about this question. What is Walt Disney Studios truly known for? It's for their princesses. Here's an example. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was their first full-length animated feature film. The main character was Snow White, and the main villain was the Queen. The prince was super minor. In Cinderella, the main character was Cinderella. The antagonist, obviously, was the stepmother. There was the prince, who was a little bit more active than the prince from Snow White, but nowhere near as active as any of the other future Disney princes, and still nowhere near as active as the princess. Now think about this real quick. By the time Sleeping Beauty came out, that was Walt Disney's last fairy tale film during his lifetime. Every other movie before that either involved animals, a princess, or a movie where a man wasn't really involved. For example, Bambi. Now granted, Bambi is a male, he's an animal. There aren't a lot of Disney movies during Walt Disney's lifetime where the male is the main character. Maybe Pinocchio, but he's a little boy, so it's different. They had a tough time really fleshing out men, more or less. But the princesses were always a big deal, and during the 90s and 89 for Little Mermaid, they became a bigger deal, and that's when the Disney Princess franchise formed, and then they kept adding more characters, or they would drop characters, Meg as May Jane, and then they just added more, during 2009, 2013, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, Elsa, Anna. Now we have 13 Disney princesses. What does it mean to be a Disney princess? Prior to Merida, they all had to sing and have a love interest. Clearly, Merida made the exception. She doesn't sing, she doesn't have a love interest, which allowed Elsa to become a Disney princess as well. And Elsa's a queen. So what is a Disney princess? We could say it's a strong female lead. Snow White is not a strong female lead. Esmeralda, Meg, and Jane Porter from Tarzan, Hercules, and Hunchback and Notre Dame, respectively, are all strong female leads. So what exactly makes up the princess? Personally, in my opinion, it's just the studio choosing the most popular movies, the ones that made the most amount of money. However, Sleeping Beauty is actually an exception to that because when it came out, it was a failure. It got more popular due to its re-releases and when the Princess franchise was formed. So now we have 13 characters from the Disney franchise. We really don't know, beyond the fact that some of them are technically princesses, why the other ones are excluded. All we know is these characters are all relatively well developed. Maybe not Snow White and Aurora, but Aurora does have her sequel where we see a little bit more of a personality. And the rest are all these well-developed characters that actually do things throughout their films. Granted, we don't always have to agree with what they do. Ariel is a big controversy for that. But that's what this franchise is. It is just these beautifully animated girls that girls and boys honestly can look up to. Personally, for a review of the franchise overall, I think it's a great idea. I like how they're clustered together in a group, and people have obviously got really into the princess fandom. I did. I used to make tons of videos with them. People like to put the princesses together because they should and could be friends. They seem that they would get along well enough to become friends with each other. And I think so. I think Ariel and Jasmine, Belle and Cinderella, those four make really great friends. Elsa, Rapunzel, and Anna would probably all be good friends too. Merida, Pocahontas, and Mulan would all really get along. I think Tiana and Snow White would actually get along too. There's a lot in this franchise where these girls can all go together. But Disney has never made a movie with them interacting because there was actually a rule when they were made. They were all supposed to be from their own universe. If you look at promotional photos for a Disney princess, none of them are looking at each other. Except for Elsa and Anna because they're from the same movie. So now we have all these characters who people want to see together, but they probably will never be together except for Elsa and Anna. Maybe if we get a Frozen 2, we might see Rapunzel in that again. But now we just have all these characters, and they're all great in their own right. I think a good way to look at the franchise overall will be to see who is the most popular and maybe talk about each one and why they're rated at their level. Each princess is an important character in Walt Disney's history. Snow White, she's the first. Cinderella, she's right after World War II, and she's really developed. Then there's Aurora, she's the last fairy tale princess during his lifetime. Ariel is the dawn of the new princesses. Bella's the one that loves to read. Jasmine's this free spirit. Pocahontas is the first one to ever deal with race and not get a happy ending. Mulan goes to war. None of the princesses ever went to war, obviously. Tiana owns a restaurant. Rapunzel is the dawn of CGI. Merida, the contrasting princess. Elsa's a queen, and Anna's actually kind of a callback to the 90 princesses, in my opinion. Now, I did the survey, and the two characters that scored 0, or got no votes, were Mulan and Pocahontas. I think there's a reason why they got a 0, why no one voted for them. Now, I think they have definitely their own fan bases, of course, but the people I asked, no one bothered to give them a vote. I asked why, and they said they found no connection to Pocahontas and Mulan. They didn't really like their movies. So that's saying something. Both characters are very well developed. They're very strong female characters, but they don't have the grasp, I think, that the other princesses have. I could be starting some controversy by saying that, but I really don't think Mulan and Pocahontas grab you like the other princesses do. And for myself, both of them are actually in the bottom as well. However, for me, the lowest would be Snow White. Now for the princesses that all got 1 vote. Snow White, Merida, and Tiana. I don't like Snow White at all. I don't like her character. I don't care for her design. I really couldn't care for her voice. I like the Evil Queen and I like the movie. I just don't like the heroine. Merida is a contrasting princess. Not everyone really wanted a contrasting princess. Tiana, I don't really know why people dislike her. She's actually a really cool character. I love the movie. I love the setting of the movie. I love the songs. I love the jazz feel. It's different from the classic movies, but it's also, you know, really cool. I can see why people would dislike Merida, though, just because of her stark contrast. She's just not classic Disney. Granted, she is half Pixar. Now, because there are 13 princesses, and I did just talk about 5 of them, I will say the 5 that scored lowest are also my least favorite as well. Nothing about Snow White intrigues me. Nothing about Merida really intrigues me either. Honestly, the contrasting differences between her and just even Elsa are huge. And also, I really don't care for her character design. Then there are Mulan and Pocahontas, and honestly, I like them. I think they're relatively interesting characters. But when I used to make my own crossovers, I never bothered to put them in it unless I was bored or needed an extra character. Nothing about them really ever connected to me. And then with Tiana, Tiana's different for me. I actually really like Tiana. I think her character is great. But of my least favorite 5, Tiana would be my top, not least of the least, if that makes sense. All right, now we'll go towards the characters who scored in the middle, where they're not towards the bottom, they got enough votes, but they're not also the super popular. Elsa, Anna, Rapunzel, and Jasmine. I can see Jasmine because the movie's Aladdin, and the movie's about Aladdin, though Jasmine is a central focus. Rapunzel is one of my personal favorites, but overall, I can see why she's not a fan favorite, especially for people who prefer the 2D princesses. I actually disagree with Rapunzel being towards the middle. I think she should definitely be towards the top, but those are the survey results. I'm not gonna make them up. And then there's Anna. Anna, she's brand new, and honestly, I think Elsa overshined her. Frozen's super popular. It's made over $1.4 billion, and Elsa just took her over. Anna just didn't have the chance to shine like Elsa did. So now on to Elsa the Snow Queen. Elsa is the 5th most popular Disney princess on the survey, and that makes a lot of sense to me. She's brand new, and her movie is amazing. Her song is awesome. Her animation is stellar. She has a great personality. She's relatively relatable, but she's not the traditional classic 2D princess that are in the top 4 and that everyone else really loves. But Elsa is right below them. I love Elsa. Elsa's one of my top 5 too. I think she's a great character. The big thing about Elsa is she's a queen and now she's in the princess franchise. So the question is, why is she in the franchise? Disney just picked and they said, Frozen's really popular. We gave you 2 princesses. Granted, one became a queen later, but we're putting her in the franchise. And you know, it makes sense because think about it. Ariel became a queen, Little Mermaid 2. Other princesses will become queens at some point as well. You know, Snow White, Aurora, Jasmine, Rapunzel, possibly Cinderella because she did marry a prince. She become queen consort. So eventually most of the princesses will become a queen. So I don't really think being a queen going into it doesn't really even matter, and she was a princess in the beginning of her movie. Elsa's just a great character. Everyone loves Let It Go. I love that song. She's just a character people can really connect to. I swear Elsa's introduction at the end of season 3 of Once Upon a Time is going to bring up that show. And speaking of Once Upon a Time, I will also be doing episode reviews of season 4 when that starts up. I can't wait for season 4. But anyway, just back to Elsa. Elsa's just a character everyone loves. She's in the top 5. Granted, she's number 5. But she's a great character, and I love Elsa. So the second place princesses, Belle and Aurora, or Sleeping Beauty or Briar Rose, because she does have 2 other aliases. These make sense why they're second place. They're both extremely beautiful. They both come from amazing movies. These princesses are classic and iconic characters in the Disney franchise, and it makes sense why people now still love them. Belle and Aurora are just 2 beautiful characters. Granted, Aurora isn't super developed, but people just love her. They love that movie. So there's a reason, because she's just this iconic character. And Belle, she came out in 1991. I was born in 1991, so I obviously saw Beauty and the Beast by the time I was 3. And I remember seeing the movie. I actually don't remember seeing Sleeping Beauty until I was a little older. But Belle and Aurora just really make sense to me why they're second place. They're iconic, they're beautiful, people love them. They are 2 of the classic, most popular princesses. Overall, I mean, people want to be them. All right, so clearly you obviously know who's left. Cinderella and Ariel. They're the 2 who got the most amount of votes. Ariel beat out Cinderella, and I'm happy Ariel beat out Cinderella because Ariel is my personal favorite. And actually, Cinderella is my second personal favorite. I love both of these characters. I remember seeing Cinderella and watching it a lot. I remember seeing Little Mermaid and watching it a lot. Ariel started the dawn of the Disney Renaissance. She's very well developed. She has her own television series, and she has 2 sequels. She's a character that kids love. The movie is so well animated. Her songs are so iconic. Her scenes are great. She goes through a lot of emotional turmoil, if you think about it, too. She's just a character that people really can connect to, despite what they say about her being selfish, because guess what? We're all selfish. Right? There's no getting around that. We all make bad choices. Animated characters can make bad choices, but we still love them. And Ariel is my number 1. Cinderella is number 2. Cinderella is considered to be the leader of the Disney princesses, according to the Disney Wikipedia. And her movie contains Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation, so it makes a lot of sense that she is pretty much tied for first. She's a great character. There's a lot of people that actually don't like Cinderella, but I see her as really well developed. She just does a lot. She goes through a lot during a movie. Granted, she has help, but it's okay to have help because we all have to ask for help at some points. She's a great character, and I understand why she got second place, or why she got really tied for first, I should say. I'm sorry. I loved being able to talk about this because these characters are amazing, and they made an impact on a lot of people's lives. My top 5 favorite Disney princesses are Ariel, Cinderella, Elsa, Rapunzel, and Belle. I have picked princesses from all across time, and I feel that is how a lot of people are too. There's so many of them. We all love these characters. We can't just pick one overall. We have to all have a top 3 or 5. So that is my question to the fans. Who are your top favorite princesses? And maybe tell me why if you want to. I think the Disney Princess franchise is a great franchise. It definitely inspires a lot of creativity and imagination. It's helped me become a better editor. I've worked a lot with Disney, and I think these movies are so well done. Even the sequels, you know, not all of them are great, but they definitely have inspired me to become an editor. So I leave 2 questions to you. Who are your top 3 princesses, and do you think Disney should make a princess movie? Let me know if you want me to cover more Disney characters or talk about the franchise even more. I will do that. And also, because I've been reviewing the Sailor Moon episodes, I think I'm going to be doing a Sailor Soldier review too. Alright guys, this video was really fun to make. I have more reviews coming. The channel is going to be packed with videos soon. Bye.